Good evening. I can tell the frequency is not in use because nobody's there. This is K4PEW net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. We'll be looking for check-ins momentarily. Hold on one second. Get a little bit of light on this subject. If there's any emergency traffic, call 911. Otherwise, call us and tell us about it. We'll do it for you. Otherwise, wait your turn for the getting on the net. The net normally meets for information on this net. You can go to YouTube and put in MJSS into the search block, or you can go to 146.415.net and look up information on our nets and why Simplex is kind of cool. You can also go to groups.io, see our net schedule and other information. You can also sign up for our email system, and you can also email me. Oh, that's MJSS in the search block for Mount Juliet Simplex for the groups.io, pardon. Or you can write me at k4pew@arrl.net. We don't normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night. Tonight we're doing four. We can count them now, 4 tonight, 4 nets tonight. It's at 22 meters. We're going to do, which we don't do too often, 446.415. That's on 70 centimeters. That's on FM, of course. And also on, where else are we doing? Hold on one second.
10 meters.
Yeah, I was trying to get some light on it, so my lights didn't work properly. That's what I was fumbling over. Yes, and we're going to be doing 10 meters upper sideband, and then 223.415. That's on 28.415 on 10 meters, and 223.415 upper sideband. Excuse me, FM. And also, don't forget about the Sunday night net. Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. The mid-10 phone net, which really is sponsored by the Mount Juliet Simplex Net. Is done very ably by Michael, KM4YRF, 7:30 p.m. Same frequency as we do tonight, 28.415. So put that in both your radio's memory and your memory. It's better to put in your radio's memory because it'll stay there. Purpose of that is to have fun. Figure out what we can hear, what we can't hear. You can hear on YouTube, you can hear the stations that you might not normally hear from your own station, depending upon where you're located and the cheapness of your antenna in the attic. But that's a good way to listen to the net if you can't hear other stations. And obviously, it's not a slur. It's the fact that you may be in a poor location, low elevation, and the other station's 50 miles away. So it's not too unusual for you not to hear all the stations. I hear almost all the stations simply due to the fact that I'm in the middle of this circle. So any other? I don't think I have any announcements today, other than the fact that we're doing those nets, and we're thankful for everybody's here. So, is there any other announcements? All righty, we got none. We might as well get rolling tonight. We're going to be taking check-ins for people short on time, for people who are mobile, or for people who are first-time check-ins. So please come down. Well, we got none of those, or nobody's listening. One of the two. I know Michael's there, and he doesn't fit any of those criteria, I don't think. And we're looking for, where are we starting? From the west. We'll take west, starting right now. And nobody in the west tonight?
JC4 ILV, Jack and Donaldson. I just didn't want to be the first one.
Oh, that's all right. Well, be the first one. Like you got virgin ears or something. Very good, Jack. No, I was wondering if anybody was there. Anyway, everything going well, Jack? Yo, did you drop out on me? I must have blew a fuse. Or his cerebral cortex. Who else is west? Anybody west, please come down. Wow, I think everybody just delays getting on here. So how about anybody from the south?
K1SPD.
Hello, Scott. What's up?
Oh, I didn't want to be a lollygagger tonight.
Oh man, this is rare for you. You know, to jump in early. You must be wanting to go to bed or something.
No, I had to get up and come turn this thing down. That's why.
Oh, very good. How you doing?
Oh, doing fine over here. About you and yours.
That last part was what?
I said, how about you and yours?
Oh yeah, doing fine, man. Today was just beautiful. You know that it was breezy and sunny, a little hot if you're standing out in the sun, but really breezy and nice.
Yeah, it sure was. We didn't get any back porch time today, and we discussed that after it had gone by. That's something we usually do every day now.
Oh yeah, no, it's it really, this is the kind of weather that's, well, when it's too hot, it's obviously problematic, but this is the kind of weather that you live for, you know. Not the real cold, not the real hot.
Yep. All right, carry on. K1 yesterday.
Very good. That was Scott. He's in Laverne. Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta. Who else is south?
Kilo Echo.
All right, hold on. We got the big one in there. I got Larry, KE4SYB. How you doing, Larry?
Doing good, Paul. Man, we'll let you get on with it. KE4SYB.
Very good. It's Larry in Rockville, Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. Interesting because he's checking in with my other antenna that I can hear him fine on, and it's got less dB gain, and it's in a weird location. So anyway, that was Larry in Rockville. I think I heard Michael, and is that you, Michael?
FK3 NPR trying out a Nikon 880H.
That sounds good. It sounds. Is it on a hand mic? Is it?
That's on a hand mic.
Yeah, it's a little narrower. You know, it's not. It doesn't have huge audio quality, but your signal's great, of course.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to tweak everything on this. I got to order a program.
No, it sounds. No, really, it sounds fine. It just doesn't sound as robust as your other radio.
Yeah, that's just a 2300. So it's definitely this one's UHF VHF. Supposed to have 220 in it, but I haven't figured out how to get that to work.
Oh, really? It's a tri-band, huh?
Well, it says dual band, but it says on the program 220.
Huh. Oh, that's interesting. Which model is that?
The ICOM ID 880H.
Huh. I'll have to look that up. I don't think I know that model. I know of it. I just don't know any details on it. Well, very good. Anything else for the net, Mike?
Just we did testing in Stones River. We had 10 people show up to take their ham test, and then at Wilson County's meeting, we only had one. But it's good to see people at least coming in to take testing.
Awesome. 10 showed up at the Stones River, huh?
Yeah, definitely. We were surprised. Definitely. I mean, that you kept walking in the door.
Wonder what prompted that. I mean, usually it's like emergencies. You know, maybe it's the fires in Maui.
People are waking up. That was the extra options for communication.
Where do you meet for the Stones River? I don't think I know where that is.
Oh, that was called emergency operations.
Okay. Well, for what it's worth, when I did the math well, I say the math, the statistics, I'll call it, in all of the central Tennessee counties, and I found an interesting. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but the higher the population of the county, the lowest per capita number of hands. So the remote counties are always the ones with a higher per capita number of hands.
Yeah, other than that, nothing for the net. Just hoping everybody enjoyed this beautiful weather while it lasts.
Oh yeah, very good. Well, I expect it to be good, man. Anyway, I don't worry about bad weather too much. You still gotta, like when I worked for a living, it was a lot of it was we had to work rain or shine, so it was a rare day that I had said I don't have to work today. So I just had to live with whatever weather we were given, you know.
That's true. I'll let you get the rest of around the loop there, Steve. Who else will interrupt? Definitely good to see everybody on K3 if there are. Stand by.
Very good. That's Mike, Kilo 3, Mike Papa Romeo. He's here in Mount Juliet, a couple of miles east of me. Who else is west or south? Excuse me, south or east? Well, no, stay with south. Hello, I haven't heard you. You've got a great signal tonight there. No, really, it's better than it has been in the past. You were very weak to me, so our conditions must be good. Oh no, you're doing fine. Give me your call again. I messed it up. I know it's November Yankee, but somehow I missed the first two scribbles. Yeah, you'd think I'd remember that, but I'm getting a little old and rickety in the memory department. But no, you really sound better than even on that last Rutherford County net, the Simplex net. I was your signal is much better than it was the other night on that Rutherford net.
All right. Thank you. I'm gonna let you know.
Very good. That's Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee, and he is in Murfreesboro, which is a neat location. That's a growing area, boy. Who else is with Sal?
Comment.
Hey, go ahead.
Jack lost power, so he didn't just leave us hanging. He lost power. He's working on it now.
Jack or his household electric?
I think it was his power supply.
Oh, it wasn't Jack himself.
No.
Somebody unplugged Jack. Very good. That's good. He'll be back then. That was funny how he loses power. Not funny. He just blew a power supply. Man, got to give. Where's his backup power supply? All righty. Who else is Sal? Hello, Mr. Tony.
Hello.
How are you this evening? Doing what? You did anything important today?
Well, I got my truck registration done.
Well, that's stuff you have to do, man. It's the law.
Oh, is that why we do?
No, it's also you can give them money.
Yeah, we did that.
How much does that big truck cost? It's pretty cheap here in Tennessee. Is it more than $60?
Yeah, 78.
Okay, so I'm used to registering like the Toyota for like $38 or something, and then I think the Ford, the Crown Vic is only it's not $78.
Well, you got to be a big guy to handle it, you know. You know, you little guys, you get Toyota.
Yeah, I wish. A Toyota is a little cramped for me. I know you wouldn't like it being bigger than taller than I am.
That's right. Yeah, anyway, that's all I got. Careful.
Very good. We'll see you on the other nets. There was Tony in Smyrna, Kilo Foxtrot, 4 Kilo Foxtrot, Quebec. Anybody else, Sal? East, please come down.
Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, Michael in Lebanon.
Hey, Michael. Heard, I was listening to you. Where was I listening to? Oh, yeah, over on the W4EAO net on Tuesday.
Yeah, I heard you on there too. But I want to let you know my big news is I got my radio back from Yaesu.
Oh, fantastic. How's it doing?
Well, I'm talking on to you right now. How does it sound?
Oh, it sounds great. I just, do you have the Yaesu mic or excuse me, the desk mic or the hand mic?
I'm using a headset.
Oh, yeah, very good. The reason I asked that is because isn't because its audio is bad. It sounds a little fuzzy to me. You like you're either too close to the mic or it's got too much gain. I don't know which.
Well, I still need to set it up, so it may take me a little while. Like I said, I've had it just a little over 24 hours, and they reset it back to factory default, so I'm still playing with it.
Yeah, you'll probably have to. I know this sound. When you ordered, just a curious point. I don't remember what I did when I ordered my Heil microphone. I mean, Heil headset, which I do have one. I'm not using it now, but I think it comes standard with the normal microphone in it, but you have to order one special for an Icom. So you didn't have to order anything special when you bought one for a Yaesu, correct?
No, it's not the microphone that you really have to do anything with, but the adapters for each one of the radios. Yeah, it has a special adapter for the microphone, things like that, to plug into the radio itself.
Oh yeah, that I'm aware of. Yes, absolutely. And the adapters aren't cheap either, like 35 or 40 bucks. But no, actually, that's the Icom. You have to order one specifically with the element for an Icom radio, because it's different than the ones for the Yaesu and Kenwood.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right though, because they have an active and a passive microphone.
Yeah, it's just Icom had to be different. They're so special.
It's not any better now. They did a switch on the headphone, but I think it's just for me listening.
Oh no, it sounds about the same. No, it's good. Don't. It's just that I expect yours to sound really good with a Heil microphone, a Heil headset, because that's a nice headset with a nice microphone.
Well, like I say, I'm still adjusting it. I've been watching videos and doing settings because I don't remember what I had set up before, and because the USB port was out, I didn't get a chance to download everything from the radio before I sent it back.
Yeah, which reminds me, I probably need to write them tomorrow and ask them what the status is, because I believe you send yours out before I did.
Yeah, let's see. Tomorrow will be 7 weeks, I believe. And when I got it, I called them, it had been exactly 6 weeks, and they were sending it back to me then.
Ah, very good. Well, I'm glad you got it back, and I'm glad it's working. Now you got work to do getting it all back to how you feel like adjusting it.
Yeah, just a little bit of time and effort on it, but I get it back eventually. Like I said, I've done a good portion of it the last day or so, and it'll come back around.
What I hate is I've had this radio I'm using right now for almost 18 years, and I'm very familiar with it. And then when I got the 991, I got very familiar with that, and I used that for a couple of years. And then I had to go back and use this one. I forgot how to use this one. Now I'm gonna again forget how to use the 991.
See, that's the problem with my old brain. Is it was gone 6 weeks, and I was looking at it going, now what the heck do I do now?
I know. It is funny though what you get used to. Anyway, anything else on that, Mike?
Now, I just want to let you know I got it back. You might want to check on yours because they may be catching up now.
That'd be great. Anyway, that was Michael. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. Anybody else east?
Okay, I'm sorry, Chewy.
Hello, Stan. Anything good going on?
Same old, Paul.
You didn't make any headway on the Johnson AM. It's not a transceiver, is it? It's a receiver. No, it's a transmit.
Slowly replacing some of the capacitors in it.
You say I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
So I'm slowly replacing some of the capacitors in it.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah, were they pretty bad?
I thought it was best to replacing them because they're the kind that kind of dies over age.
Well, they are older than you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that's funny. You have a radio that's older than yourself. I get a kick out of it because I've got some things. I've got a camera sitting in front of me that's about 60 years old that I'm making work right, and it just cracks me up that it's that old.
Yeah, the receiver that I'm going to pair with is older than I am too.
Oh, that's funny. Well, it doesn't matter as long as it works good. It probably works sound-wise. It probably works. It has great audio, you know.
Yeah, it should.
Well, very good, Stan. Anything else for the net?
No, that's all. Back to that KM4HQ.
Very good. That's Stan in Lebanon. Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo. Who else is east?
KM4YRF.
Oh, Mike. Is Rick out tonight?
I haven't heard from Rick tonight. He may be working late. I'm not sure.
After that Boston trip, he's too highfalutin for us.
That's probably right.
No, he's doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
How about Rick? Is he doing good?
Oh yeah, Rick's doing good.
Yeah. So are you still working? Did you make up your time and now you're only working 4 days again?
Well, yeah, I had to swap. I'm normally off on Friday, but I had to swap Friday for today because I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and Emily had one this afternoon. So I just took today, and I'll have to work Friday.
Wow. I think I told you when my mother was here, I took her to, in 1 month, I believe it was 12 appointments.
Wow, that's a lot. Emily had a knot come up on her leg, her good leg, and we thought it might be a blood clot, and so did the doctor. So, but the doctor looked at it and decided it's just a little fatty cyst.
Yeah, I can lend her some more if she wants them.
No, she said one's enough for her.
I know it. I have a few of them. They're not so noticeable. No, they're just not noticeable. But I notice they are in my arms. I think that's where they all are. No, I got some on my. Never mind. I just have some, and they're just. You get used to them. They're like friends.
Yeah, well, Emily, being the condition that she's in, just every little thing just really worries her. She's afraid it's going to be something really wrong.
Oh, I think we all do that. I know some people, they bump. I had one of my ex-wife 1.1, that one. She, her sister was one of those people that if her son stubbed his toe, she took him down to get an MRI. You know, she was like a radical warrior.
Yeah, well, we were a little concerned. Even her brother was that we got to get that checked out. I'm pretty sure it's a blood clot, but luckily the Lord was looking after us, and it was nothing that we have to do anything about.
Yeah, well, can't be worrying about that kind of stuff. Even if you could, you know, it was like that famous, I say famous, that statement about worrying. The person who said, you know, all of my worrying must be doing some good because everything I worry about never happens.
And that's true, probably for a big part of the time.
Well, we worry about things we have no control over. That's part of the problem. Anything else on that, Mike?
No, Paul, that's all I got. Thank you for doing what you do, and I'll be ready for the next go round.
Very good. And back at you. You do some nice things too, working for a couple of different parties on the air. So besides us. Anyway, who else is, that was Mike, KM4YRF here in Mount Juliet, the other side of the I-40. Who else is east?
KG4CXE, Chris in Rural Hill.
Hello, Chris. Anything good going on in your sector?
Oh man, just came back from vacation last week and wanted to give you a check-in, and that's about it. Tired, but trying to dig into the work week. It's pretty much over, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I worked for a long time, however long I worked, 40 years, whatever it was, and maybe more. And you look back on it, you go, man, it went by pretty fast, even though some weeks I thought would never end.
Yeah, that's I guess the nice thing about hindsight, huh?
Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, my dad said that to me. He said, I said something in his, I think he was already retired. And I said something about, I sure wish that whatever, I was wishing something would end or something would hurry up, something about work. He's never rushed the days along. They go along fast enough by themselves.
Yep, they sure do.
I mean, and then before he died, which I didn't know he was dying, but or gonna die, but I said, boy, it's hard to believe you've been. And he retired at 60, and he died at 77, and it was probably when he was 76, I think. And I said, well, I can't believe you've been retired for 16 years already. And he goes, yeah, man. He goes, it's unbelievable. It really is. You know, it just seems so. It goes by so quickly, even when you're doing nothing.
Yeah, the days steal away. I totally get it. It's shocking right now. We went out and took a walk, and now at the time we were walking before, just a few weeks ago or even a week ago, it's dark already. So it's just, yep, keeps on going.
Yeah, the sun has a habit of doing that as the year wears on. Anything good else for the net? Do anything on the air?
Nah, nothing else, man. 73.
Very good. That's Chris, Kilo Golf 4 Charlie X-Ray Echo. He's in Rural Hill. Who else is east?
KE4 DEZ. Earl and Noreen. Hell copy over.
Well, I copy you just dandy, Earl. Your signal sounds extraordinary tonight. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I reckon as things go by over here in my neck of the woods without me looking. What do you think?
I don't know. I never get over to that. I don't get over there very often, but I would suggest it's probably nicer over there than it is here because you don't have the traffic problems we do.
Well, that I guess depends on the time of day. I live in front of my statewide highway over here, and sometimes getting in and out of the driveway could be complicated, depending on how well the neighbors of the rural community over here, trim their access, if you will, to letting other things do it for them, if that makes any sense. There is access and all that other stuff involved in all that stuff, but anyway, been there, done that. There's more to that story than what is probably needed to be communicated on the net.
Yeah, well, one thing I notice about local 2-lane roads or just roads, they don't have, like my road, it's the street that I live on doesn't have any markings on it, but it's just really a 2-lane road, a 2-car road. That's maximum. And even though the speed limit's posted, I think it's posted for 20. I'm not positive about that. But nobody does 20. And it's kind of annoying sometimes because you figure, why you're racing to go a quarter mile? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, yeah. Well, there's I used to do that when I was a kid, you know, stoplight, just for, you know, living in the big city and everything like that. But my driveway is in the access of a passing zone, so it's kind of like needed care is required to do that stop, look, and listen thing before you proceed into the main traffic area.
Yeah, oh, that's always true. I mean, I remember how I used to do the same thing you did. Just, you know, no matter what, just go as fast as you can, even though you had an old junker. It was impressive to go fast.
Yeah, and I found sometimes where the old junker kind of overruled and outran, or you know, of course it was automatic, but you know, during the process of things like that, somebody with a manual transmission kind of slewed, and probably tore up their transmission at the time back in my younger days when they were, well, they had to make a alternative route from straight line alternatives there, okay?
Yeah, man. Plus, they probably burned out their clutch too.
Yeah. Know what's that like? Done that, been there, done that, but luckily my warranty was still enabled. But anyway, y'all hang on tight, enjoy the ride. Nothing really happening over here, just SOS, if you will, trying to maintain reality on my neck of the woods for myself, by myself. Sometimes it's complicated. Anyway, we'll catch you when we can, Paul. Thanks for letting me share time on the net, and anyone else out there that can receive my signal. This is KE4 or DEZ, Earl and Noreen, southeast Wilson County, behind Cedars 11 State Park, 7-3.
Yeah, what he said, KM4, that's K, I'm sorry, it's Kilo Echo 4, Delta Echo Zulu, that's Earl. He's just behind the Cedars 11 Park over there in Noreen. Anybody else east? Or north?
K4 BWA.
Hey, you sound pretty good tonight, Ricky. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Actually, I'm pushing about 30 more watts. I'm doing 80 watts tonight using another radio. Ended up getting a SWR meter today and checking out, you know, see how it worked and everything. And I found out that frequency that I do my net on, 147555, the SWR goes to 1.7 to 1.8, and you know, that I know that's not overly high, but I mean, if you run a net and run it high like that, possible that you know, I burnt my antenna up that way. Also, I was running an amp that was 165 watts. Of course, I haven't checked to see what the SWR would be on that, but I'm pretty sure it'd be a lot more than 1.7, 1.8.
Yeah, well, if you haven't noticed, on the 2 meter or 2 meter 70 centimeter antennas, you know, out of the normal factories, you know, for the Comet and the Hustler and the Diamond antennas, if you look at the SWR curve, and also if you notice, I didn't really notice when I first became a ham, but it took a couple of years probably to notice it. But on 146.520, you know, the calling frequency for 2 meters, that's the center of the 2 meter band. And so they tune all the antennas so that the center frequency is where the lowest SWR is. Hopefully, I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be coming out of the factory. So anything that's up in the 147s where you are is going to be a higher SWR.
Yeah, roger that. And so I actually went through and checked what Simplex frequencies were available, and I seen that 146,520, and I decided, I said, okay, well, I might try 146,475, and I tried that, and it went down to 1.2 or 1.3. So I was thinking, that's a whole lot better at 80 watts, getting 1.2, 1.3.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think I'm not saying it's always critical what you're talking about it at the lower wattages, because I've never been on higher than 50 watts on the output. But yeah, to be way out of on the high end of the band, it makes it rough, because unless you ordered, which you can do, but you're going to pay dearly for it, and order an antenna specifically for the frequency you're going to primarily use.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm thinking about changing the frequency, going down to 146,475. Right now, I'm kind of making the necessary arrangements. I've been monitoring it. I'm going to check it and see if anybody's doing nets on that frequency on 7 o'clock on Thursday nights, and do some investigating. And if everything goes well, within the next 2 weeks or so, I may be moved to that frequency on my Thursday night net.
I think that there is one, but it's not on Thursday nights. Hold on one second, and I'll tell you. There's another one. Hold on. If there's somebody on the net that can remember, the frequency for the Rutherford County Simplex net is on the first Tuesday of the month, and it's 146. I want to say it's 475, but I'm not sure. Does anybody remember? Anybody on that now?
That's correct. AI4NDN.
Okay, very good. Yeah, it's a Tuesday night net, and they only do it once a month. It's on Tuesday night, the first Tuesday of the month, and so you're not going to be bothering them at all. And again, frequency's open as long as you're the first one there.
Yeah, roger that. And I also went through and checked with repeaters to make sure that it wasn't real close to anything in the area that might interfere with or bleed over to or whatnot. So, like I said, I'm kind of doing a little search party and see what I can come up with. And I doubt if I'll ever use that amp again, going up that high. But I mean, I feel more comfortable running a 1.2, 1.3 at 80 watts, because I just feel like it's easier on the antenna, and I don't want to have to replace it.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in the performance of those antennas. I would think if they're rated for 200 watts, you think they'd be good, and they don't make a distinction. It says, well, they're too good for 200 watts, as long as they're operated, below 146, 500.
Right, roger that. We talked about it, and I just don't know if they're, rated for like an hour long net, and that's just it. Running a 1.7, 1.8 for like an hour, and you talk, a net controller talks more than anybody else. So I mean, that gets those things pretty hot. Now you consider the fact that it was up there maybe a year or 2 years using a amp, 165 watts. So I mean, I really put it through it, but I still think that it'd be better if I just keep it at 80 watts and bring that SWR down to a 1.2.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a good plan anyway. Yeah, I would even consider myself, having been doing this net so long, that I might consider ordering a specific antenna, but I'm afraid how much it would cost. That would bother me. Anyway, anything else for the net there, Rick?
No, I took enough of y'all's time, but just be prepared that we may be making some changes in the near future as far as the frequency on that Thursday night net at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, very good. Just let me know so I can tell the troops here we can get on that. 205 people, I think, are on our list, so be good. It's going to be good for them to know.
Comment.
Hey, go ahead, comment.
Okay, this is KE4DEZ. I've got a little bit of wisdom or knowledge to share. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, depending on, because I've been there, done that, okay, with field day and this, that, and other using an amplifier. Of course, there is missing information that may be required to add this information to, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, if you can get your antenna, if it is a mono band antenna set through from your transceiver to the antenna via maybe a antenna analyzer to get it as low as you can, depending on the frequency that you ultimately wanting it to transmit on.
Yeah, and I'm also told that sometimes different feed line lengths will have an impact, a big impact. I don't mean thousands of feet. I'm saying that sometimes multiples of a frequency on a for length of a feed line can make a difference.
Yeah, that was my next point of once you get your antenna, whether it is tuned or, of course, is not only for UHF, VHF, but as well as HF, you get your antenna tuned away to frequency that you want to operate on. Delete the jumpers and stuff like that come into play as well, okay?
Oh yeah, you don't want any the least amount of connectors you can possibly get between point A and point B.
Okay. So, and then there's the transceiver output power, in relationship to drive the amplifier, if you will. Like any way to put it right now, that's, it's also going to increase the power output of your transceiver through those things to go to your antenna, which is also going to increase your SWR at the same time. So, I don't know, but per my experience and my understanding of it all, if you can get your basic antenna down to at least a 1.3 SWR through whatever mechanism that you're using over there, and depending on your output power or whatever amp and the filtration of the amp, you can survive with a 1.5 to 1.8 SWR going from your transceiver to your amplifier, to your radio, or to your antenna, if that makes any sense, okay? If that's any help. KE4 or DEZ, back to net.
Yeah, very good, Earl. Yeah, were you able to copy any of that there, Rick?
Yep, I did, and he's right. That's some of the stuff that I have just found out by experimentation, and I'm going to probably take, like I said, keep it down low as I can keep it. I just think that's better. But anyway, we're gonna move on with your net. I'm gonna get off of here. This is K4 BWA, Ricky in Portland, saying 73s to everybody out there.
Yeah, that was Ricky in Portland, K4BWA, and he does the net, at least for the moment, on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. on 147.555. May change, though, very shortly, so hang loose on that. I'll let you guys know, whoever's listening. If you're on our mailing list, I'll let you know for certain. But 140, right now it's 147.555. All right, who else is? Oh, I heard David in there. David, are you out there? CAF4 Indian.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Ball. This is David. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing just dandy. I have no more complaints than I had last week about my physicality.
I understand. Just another day, and the aches and pains, they don't seem to go away. Sometimes they get a little better and fluctuate, kind of like antenna problems do. Did you get your SWRs worked out?
Yeah, I'm gonna put a. I have to clean out the drain on my on that 2 meter, that old 2 meter antenna, the old 2 meter 2 meter 70 centimeter antenna, because that was the reason I took it down. I had so many moisture problems.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you think that'll fix it or help it a lot?
Now, what I should have done, or because I set it aside for so long, and it's been a couple of years, several years since I used it. I just used it as an emergency, but because it was an emergency, so to speak. But I really should. What's that stuff that you see that guy make a boat out of screen material? He scrapes that. That's what I'm put on the antenna to keep the water out.
Flex seal.
Yeah, that flex seal. That's what I need to put on there.
Okay, yes, sir. I understand. I sure understand. Well, I won't keep you, Mr. Paul. A good evening to you and everybody on that. This is KI4ND and back to you.
Actually, I'll throw in another one. I just remembered I had another fix for that. It didn't require to buy anything other than I could get a 20-foot length of Schedule 20 PVC and just slide it over the antenna. And it guaranteed it wouldn't leak if I put a cap on the top of that piece of PVC.
How much would that cause a less reception or not?
I don't think it would. That's that thin wall PVC. That's the very, very thin. And I can't imagine it would be any worse than me covering that antenna with paint or any of that Flex Seal.
Yeah, I understand. Well, keep up the good work there, old man. KI4ND.
Very good. That's David, and he's in Reedyville, Kilo India 4 November, Delta November. Who else is? He was south, so I'm going to stay up to north, though. That's where I was headed, north, east or north, or anywhere. Please come in.
WB0NO.
Very good. How you doing there, Martin?
Doing well. Kind of kick back here, listening to all of the theories.
Listen, you've got a long history of being in radio, commercial, and ham radio, and I was you'd be a good bird. I'm gonna throw something at you. I was thinking about selling a J pole. It's made out of like 1-inch galvanized steel pipe, and sell it as a broadband, weatherproof, no gain antenna.
Well, that'd be fine because J poles don't radiate anyway.
I know. In fact, they should be called the mystery antenna.
Yeah, I get a kick out of guys that spend days or weeks or maybe even longer making a copper J pole, and then they're so happy that they can hit a repeater 20 miles away.
Hey, I take offense to that. I did that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did that. Then they figured out that they could also hit that repeater with their talkie.
Well, what's strange about talking about that, when I first got into ham radio, one of the first people I met was he's a few years older. He's probably close to 80 now. And he was in ham. He's an old sage. I mean, he was been in it since he was like 13 years old. And so he was born around 46 or something like that. And he's the one that says, here, we got this is a great J pole. In fact, he gave me one as if that was the gift of the, maybe it was a practical joke.
Comment.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, the secret to using a J pole is you got to get it 70 feet up in the tree, and it works good.
Yeah, the higher the better. No, J poles work. It's just that, well, I had a friend of mine who was a Silent Key. He had a J pole for 10 meters up hanging from a tree made out of wire. It worked.
Yeah, well, we used to take a PL259 and turn it up, or an SO239 chassis mount connector, and solder a couple of radials on it and put a 19-inch stinger out the top of it, put a loop in it, and haul it up in a tree, and it worked good too.
Oh, absolutely. I've got a little, I call it an emergency antenna. That's a 2-meter. I can't get my terms straight. Anyway, it's a 2-meter vertical. So it's a it's a 5/8 on either up and down. It's hung vertically. You can hang it from a tree, and it's got a coil in the middle of it for 2 meters, and I think it's 5/8 on 5/8 up and a 5/8 down, I think. And that thing worked great with an HT. But again, I wasn't trying to get across town.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was hearing some comments tonight, although I didn't hear all of it, about SWR being higher with higher power. But in theory, SWR is a ratio, so it really shouldn't change with power levels unless you exceed what your antenna can do and it starts breaking down.
Right, right. I guess the implication, what people would feel is that, well, I guess it's not obviously you're not getting, with the highest WR, you're not getting the same power out to the antenna, so it's inconsequential, like you said, because it's a ratio.
Yeah, I've seen it go up with power, but I think in most every occasion it turned out to be an amplifier that was spurious and putting out signal on frequencies that weren't intended, and that those other frequencies were then being reflected and showed up as power coming back down the line, even though they weren't on the same frequency that you were sending up.
I got you. But now that you raised that issue about what we were talking about earlier, what would you think of how much more you'd pay for a specific frequency antenna? Like here's that X700 that goes for $400. What if I wanted a 2-meter only antenna that had similar qualities that was for a specific frequency? Of course, then you'd be into a commercial antenna, wouldn't you be?
Yeah, you would be. And to get something comparable, you're probably nowadays is probably the best part of $2,000.
Wow, wow. Even those multiple commercial, I saw some. It was for 2 meters and 70 centimeters. That I think we talked about this before. The ones that have the folded dipoles, the stack of folded dipoles. I forget what they call them.
Yeah, you look up. I think it's a DB224. Everybody's changed companies and sold out and new names, and so I guess I don't know what it is anymore. But it was 4 stacked dipoles for 2 meters that I think would get you not quite 6 dB, and that was DBD, not DBI. If it was DBI, that would be another couple of dB, so probably 8 dBi the way you measure it.
Yeah, I get you. No, you're right. It would be. Yeah, it's I don't know why we even talk in DBI, but that's the way they advertise all antennas.
Well, they talk that way because the number can be higher, even though it's pretty much meaningless.
Yeah, that's true of a lot of things. So I know that is a totally different thing, but I worked for a couple of 3 factories actually that made large, 500,000 ton, 1,500 ton, 2,000 ton refrigeration machines for chilling fluids. And most of the time it's water, except in commercial industrial applications. But they said if it puts out 500 tons, and they use the term nominal 500 ton or nominal 1,000 ton or not. And what they really meant, was it's give or take 5 or 6%.
Yeah, that nominal usually means less.
Yeah, I always got a kick out of that when they said nominal. Well, we know it's nominal. In other words, what you think it's supposed to be.
Nobody wants to get pinned down to a specification that they can't live with 100%. But anyway, carry on. Have a great day. I'll be listening, and I'll probably try to meet you over on 440.
Very good. That was Mark. Whiskey Bravo Zero, November Oscar Oscar. Matter of fact, I think that sometimes I think that the DBI stands for ideal. I stands for ideal because there's no such thing as a perfect. Anyway, who else is any place anywhere?
K4 IDC Mobile.
Hello, Robin. How you doing?
I'm tired, but I'm doing all right.
You didn't work all this time, did you?
Well, define work.
The actual base definition of work is moving matter relative to other matter on the face of the earth.
Then the answer is yes.
Very good. You're driving a truck. It's work.
Yeah, so we got Houston antenna on top of his tower this evening, and coax connected to it, and the rotator installed, and the control cable connected to that. So he's on the HF band now.
Oh, awesome. What kind of antenna did he put on the top?
It's one of those hex beam cobweb wire-based multi-band antennas.
It's a crappy SWR on all bands.
No, actually, it's very good on all the bands that it covers. It has an element for 6 meters through, I think 20. I think it's 6 through 20. I don't think he has a 40-meter element on it.
Cool. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, hopefully he gets his next 510 back in the air. He'll join us on the net.
I guess he will. Yeah, I always get. I always think about when somebody puts up an antenna. He's got a big. Of course, he got it up 40 feet in the air. But so many times somebody will say that antenna stinks, and whatever it was, and they realize it's because of the location they're in, not the antenna itself.
Yeah, the best antenna in the world won't work worth a flip if you live in a valley.
Or I had a great time with a really. It was my first homemade. It was an off-center fed Wyndham, and I had it at the house in Florida, and it wasn't. The top of it couldn't have been 20 feet up in the air, and it was kind of sloped on both sides. And I used that thing for 2 or 3 years. It was great. Of course, conditions were much better than they were since then, but partially because I was operating in Florida, relatively flat ground, and plus I was the water table underneath my house was about 2 feet below the grass.
So you had a good earth and good propagation. You can't beat that.
Oh yeah, it was amazing, really. And I even put up a 10-meter what I put up a 10-meter ZEP antenna that hung out of a tree, and that of course 10 meters was really open then, and that was great too. You know, a cheap wire 10-meter antenna, a 10-meter ZEP antenna.
Yep. So anyway, that's a regular work day, kind of regular, and then that, and a meeting, and now I'm on my way home.
Oh, very good. I'm glad that Houston got his antenna up and running. I'm anxious to hear it from him, actually. Anyway, that was Robin, Kilo 4 India Delta Charlie here in, well, he's mobile, so he's going back to south of me about 5 miles. I'm not sure. We must be on the interstate right now. He's got a great signal. Who else is any place anywhere?
Kilo Delta 4 Victor Uniform Whiskey, Carlin in Bethpage, Angeltown, Mount Vernon Community.
Very good, Carlin. How are you being?
Okay, just sitting here listening to all the antenna stuff. I don't pay no attention to those dB ratings. I go by how many of those elements are stacked on top of themselves. I've never paid no attention to those dB ratings. DBI isotropic. It's an imaginary antenna in free space, and I don't know of anything that's real like that. But I don't know. Talk about the antenna stuff. I've kind of come to the conclusion that if you're going to put up a new antenna, a dual band antenna like those diamonds or those comets, the best thing I think you could probably do is pull that entire antenna out of the fiberglass, get you some silver solder and resolder every one of them joints, and
possibly on the diamond antennas, just go ahead and do the coax deal, or find you some higher voltage capacitors. And that might be the best thing to do if you're going to put one up and you don't want to have to fool with it. Other than that, screw it together and stick it up and wait for it to break down, I guess. But I was reading where one guy had said he thought it would be better to braze those antennas sections together. And I thought, I don't know if I'd go that far, but I would go with the silver solder. There was talk on some of the blogs I read that the regular solder would, over a period of time, due to the atmospheric temperature changes from daytime to nighttime, even though it's in fiberglass, it's still temperature extremes changing back and forth. That the regular leaded solder, or if they're using the unleaded solder, which would be worse, tends to want to break up over a period of time. And they were suggesting the silver solder. One guy was suggesting the brazing. I thought the silver solder would be the best thing to do. But anyway, on the antenna thing, it's I guess enough of that. So, been a lot of antenna talk right here lately. Anyhow, thought I'd check in, say howdy doody, as Ralph would say over there on Green Acres. So, everything, I guess everybody's enjoying the evening. I don't think it's been too hot outside. I haven't been out today, so I don't know. So, it's supposed to have cooled off tremendously, I guess, if you call 10 degrees tremendous. But anyway, it's seems like it's a nice night out there and stuff. Thought I'd check in. You're sounding good up here. Got 20 S units on you up here. And matter of fact, I'm hearing a whole lot of people ain't been here. And even some of the mobiles have been kind of coming in here. So the atmosphere is not churned up like it's been being the last couple of weeks, at least not tonight. So anyway, I guess I'll shut up, turn it back over to you, Paul. And that way you can get some more check-ins. And I'll probably catch y'all over on 220.
Very good. By the way, it's 67 here outside. It says on my phone, so I don't know, but that's pretty cool. It was only topped out today at 82. And yeah, antenna talk's good because I think we all have, well, many people, including me, can sometimes have misunderstandings about antenna performance. And you're right, though, that dBi is a meaningless number, but it's the reference that most of us, as long as you're comparing dBi from one antenna to another, under using the same criteria, it doesn't really matter. You're just saying, well, that one's slightly better than, for instance, the one I have right now, the one I'm on at this moment is a 6.3 dBi. I don't think, and I presume it's 4 point something dBd. But in reference to that, I know that 6.3 isn't as good as the 9.3 that's on an X700. I mean, it's 33%. Well, it's actually 50% less, pretty much. So you know what I'm saying is it's just a relative number. It's a meaningless number in a distinct sense, like you said. Anyway, appreciate you being there. Anything else for the net?
I don't guess so. I did check my SWR on my 333, and I'm talking to you on, and up at 147. 5A5, which is the top simplex frequency pair, I've got on it a 1.3 SWR, which is kind of strange because I think that the technical information they show like 144 to 147.5 or something. So I'm a little above that, and but it seems to have a good match and everything. I haven't had that problem, too bad of a problem with it.
No, that's great. No, like I said, 520 is right in the middle of the band, so that's usually where they tune the antennas as they come out of the factories, from my experience.
Comment.
What's up, Earl?
There's no replacement for a whichever band of aluminum antenna, mono or multi-band. That's all I got to say. KE4 DEZ.
All righty. Carlin, anything else?
I guess not. Turn it back over to you where you can continue on with the net. So anyway, toodaloo. Have a nice night. KD4 VW clear.
Very good. That's Carlin and Beth Page. Kilo Delta 4, Victory Uniform Whiskey. Who else is any place, anywhere? going to some lollygaggers, lurkers, and sandbaggers if I don't get an answer.
You might add J-pole operators out there.
Yeah, yeah, J-pole operators. Well, I still have a J-pole. I just don't use it. It's been sitting in the garage for quite some time. Now, anybody else out there before we move over to 440? Specifically 446, 415.
I'll trade you that phone for your J-pole.
Don't make me, that just, well, it's a nice antenna. It's a very well engineered, finely tuned, no gain antenna. No, that's what Mark, and I don't know if you caught Mark and I talking about that earlier. I mean, really a J-pole is, I think a 5/8 wave does, just a simple 5/8 wave antenna vertical outperformed it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You're talking about a 5/8 over a 5/8. I think the word you were looking for is a collinear.
Yeah, I couldn't think of that term as I was sitting there. Yeah, it is a collinear, and it's a home. I got the design off a plan off of the web some years ago. It really works great.
Made education right there.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate that, Robin. Collinear. Anybody else? Please come down.
K4TNR.
Hey, K4TNR, Tango November Romeo. I've forgotten your first name.
It's Kevin. I used to be KQ4FEG.
Okay, throw me a curveball there. You did, Kevin.
I warned you on the last net.
Yeah, but I didn't know what you were going to though.
Yeah, it's a pretty good call sign for me. It pretty much spells my last name.
TNR does? Well, I don't know I don't think I know your last name.
Well, my last name is Fortner, so you have 4 TNR Fortner.
Oh, that's very good. Very good. That's a nice combination. You put that on a license plate.
Yeah, it flows pretty well too, and pretty good for CW. I mean, I'll probably never change it.
No, it's a good call. I like it. TNR. No, I can't think of it. I can't think of any other acronyms. Not acronyms, but that would fit that. But they would say Tango November Romeo. It's a good one. Though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, I'll let you go. I've been hanging on, trying to check in, and sounds like you've had a pretty good net tonight. And I'll try to catch you next time. K4 TNR. Till next time.
Very good. That's Kevin here in it's Gladeville / Mount Juliet, Kilo 4 Tango November Romeo. Brand new call for kind of signifies his name, Fortner. I think that's cool. Anybody else? Please come down. Nope. Then we're going over to 446.415 FM. 446.415 FM, and then we're going to move immediately over to 10 meters. 10 meters, not 6. 10 meters on 28.415. So we'll see you on 440. And if you don't have 440, I'll see you over on 10 meters. And if you don't have that, I'll maybe see you on 220. We'll go from there. That's on 223.415 if anybody forgot. See you in a minute on 446.415.
Hey, boy, time for one more.
Yeah, go ahead. What's the one more?
K1 JTB, very last minute on VHF.
Very good. I got you in there, John. Well, that was a real, almost just by the skin of your teeth there.
Yep, I'm a chin chin.
I didn't remember the call, but I just remembered your voice.
Yeah, Roger. K1 JTB, Kilo 1, Juliet, Tango, Bravo, John, Brentwood, Tennessee. Just checking in. Nothing for the net. Thanks for taking me very, very last minute, Paul. Have a good night. Yep.
Very good. That's Kilo 1, Juliet, Tango, Bravo, and that's John. He's got a new call from before, and he's over in Brentwood. That's where it is. I remembered. Anyway, we're moving right now to 446.415, unless I get another interruption.
That's where we're at now. Where are you going to, Paul?
Well, I'm on 146.415. I'm moving over to 446.415.
Oh, okay. I guess I misunderstood. I'm sorry. I sincerely apologize.
You're doing fine. We're going over there right now. Catch your man, or okay, 4P then. All right, there I am on 446.415. This is Paul, K4PEW, Mount Juliet Simplex Net on 446.415. Looking for check-ins from the west. Please come now.
KG4 ILV, Jack and Donaldson, and I'm back.
Yeah, I guess you were. You blew a fuse.
My voice is so powerful, I'm just blowing wires out of their connectors.
Well, that's that aura that you generate, you know.
Okay, Paul, thanks a lot for checking me in.
Yeah, very good. That's Jack and Donaldson, Kilo Golf for India Lima Victor. Who else is west? Anybody else west? West or south? Okay, west, south, or east?
KM4, YRF.
I think a bunch of people fell asleep. That was Michael, KM4YRF. We'll see who else is up. That's only. We'll move on. That was Michael here in Mount Juliet, KM4YRF. Who else is east? Or north?
WB0NOL.
You know what it is? All these guys fiddling with their radios, trying to remember how to get to 440.
Yeah, I programmed it earlier.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while. No, it's true though. I mean, that's when I had that random net. That's one of the reasons I started the Simplex Net some years ago down in Florida, is because I realized that people in our club didn't know how to make changes on their radio on the fly.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of us that have that problem.
Well, yeah, some of it just comes with not remembering how to do it on a radio you're unfamiliar with. But that's one of the reasons we program. These are easy to program because we rarely throw a new frequency out at people.
Yep, I keep them in memory, and I can rotate it fast enough to find it. It takes a while to program it the old-fashioned way.
Oh, I understand. I do that with right now everything. In fact, I don't have the 446 programmed in this radio. I had it in the other radio, which is supposedly going to be back here, I guess, within days or weeks. Anyway, that was Mark, Whiskey Bravo 0, November Oscar Oscar. What'd you have, Michael?
Did you hear Stan?
No, Stan, are you out there? No, not stopping it. I'm not. Stan, try again, please. No, I opened up the squelch to you, and I'm not hearing him at all.
Yeah, he said he's there, but he's running QRP.
Okay, very good. Yep. I can't imagine why. I guess I would think his radio wasn't QRP, but maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe he's just running something out of hanging a wire out the window. Anyway, Stan, glad to have you in there on a relay. That's Stan is. I'll get his call right here in a second. Here, Stan is. Oh yeah, it's KM4HQE. That's what it is. KM4HQE. Okay, we got Carlin in there, but that really low signal from your antenna there. I got you perfectly on 2 meters, but on 70 centimeters, it's broken up quite a bit. Michael, how are you copying the Carlin?
It was broken.
Okay, I just want to make sure it could have been me, but very good. I got you in there, Carlin. That's Kilo Delta 4 Victor Uniform Whiskey. Who else? That was Carlin in Angel Town. Who else is north or anywhere? Anybody, any place? All right, we'll close out that portion of the net. We'll move right over to 10 meters, 28.415. We'll see you there.
Surprise.
Well, it seems a little noisy tonight, but I guess we can live with that. This is K4PEW for the 10 meter net here on 28.415. Got anybody from the west? Please come down. A little noisy. Anybody from the west?
KG4 ILV.
Oh, you kind of sound great there, Jack.
Everything It's just a little noisy, but I got a good signal on you.
Yeah, you know, you got a great signal. That was Jack, KG4ILB. Who else is west? West or south? West or south? East?
KM4, YRF.
Yeah, well, it's too bad I'm wearing headphones. Now you owe me two hearing aids, man.
Happy to share.
All right, there was Mike here in Mount Juliet, KM4YRF. He's got the same antenna I do on 10 meters with that vertical, that monster. What is that? That's that SPT 500 by whoever that is. Who makes that? It's not MFJ. That's what you call it, isn't it?
It's high gain.
High gain. That's what they call it. High gain. That's a fake name. If I ever heard one. Who else is? No, it's a good for that antenna. It's a great antenna for vertical, 10 meters. Who else is? And it works good on 10 meters, 20 meters too. We found out. Who else is? Any place, anywhere?
Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu.
Yep, sound great there. Good signal here tonight. There, Earl, Kilo Echo 4, Delta Echo Zulu. I got almost maybe you got that wrong. Anybody else? That was Earl and Noreen. Who else is the east? East or north? Which antenna are you using, Mark? Because you to go from your 70 centimeter and 2 meter to this, you actually got your signal's really low. I hear your full audio, but signal's low.
Well, I'm horizontal on this one. I can go vertical. Hang on. Okay, that's vertical. To make a difference?
I can't notice the difference either on the signal on the meter or on your audio.
No, maybe it doesn't make a difference over here.
It probably doesn't make a difference because of our proximity or being close. Maybe that's a better way to say it.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I can hear Earl on 10 meters, but I can't hear him on 2.
Oh, is that right? I guess I'm not too surprised by that, but yeah, I think there's a lot of problems between him and you on real estate for the 2 meters.
Yeah, probably so.
All right, that was Mark, Whiskey Bravo 0, November Oscar in the Northwest Wilson County. Who else is any place anywhere? If there's anybody who I can't hear, please let me know on email if you don't mind. Just let me, K4PEW at 8. It's so funny to watch the dogs, man. All I have to do is say my call like I'm signing off, and they snap their heads around to see if they can go do something. Anyway, K4PEW at ARRL.net. Anybody else, any place, anywhere? Okay, that's a whopping 5 people. No more. I'm going to make some up, put them on a list. I'm going to just make up people's calls. All righty, that was it. 5 people on there, and we had, hold on, I'll tell you in a second. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 people on 10 meters and 5 people on no, excuse me. I'll get there right in a minute. 6 people on 70 centimeters and 5 people on 10 meters. And we're moving over to 223.415, where I'm hoping there's more. K4PEW signing off for this portion on that. K4PEW. And that about wraps it up. It's K4PEW signing off on the YouTube stream.